Hey guys, my name is Akeel from akeelsworld, and I want to welcome you to another video of mine. Today's video is a tutorial for the Mac users, and what I'm going to show you is how to install any copy of Windows on your Mac, so you can cross platform your Mac. You can either you've got options already within the Mac as creating a partition and doing a bootcamp version, but in the version that I'm going to be showing you is how to do it while you're using the same operating system. Now my Mac is running Lion, the latest OS from Mac, and what I'm going to do is using a program called Parallels. And the reason why I'm using Parallels is because I use a program called 3D Studio Max, and it seems to run really well with Parallels rather than the other softwares such as VMware. So that's why I'm going to be using VMware for my main virtual host for Windows, and I'm going to be installing Windows 7 Ultimate Edition, and I'm going to be installing the 64-bit edition of this on the Mac. So the reason why I'm installing the Mac is because one, I play a few games from Steam, and I want to install that. Second of all, I want to cross test my websites that I'm making and see how it works on Internet Explorer, because well, Mac hates Internet Explorer and there is no Mac version of Internet Explorer. So it's for that reason I'm going to be installing that. So what you need to do first of all is go to the parallels.com website. Now obviously I'm in the UK, so I'm on the UK section of the site, and what you do then is you just click on downloads, click Parallel Desktop 7 for Mac, and then just click the download trial version. Make sure you put your accurate email address in there and then click proceed. When you click proceed, you will get sent an email with the activation key, and you will also get the download link on the next page. So once you've downloaded it, make sure you just remember where you saved it. So I've got mine saved here, so I'm just going to double click on the DMG file. I do apologize about my cough again. And this is the screen that you will see, which is the Parallel Desktop for Mac. And I'm just going to double click on install the application and just click open on that. You won't see this option, it's just that I use a certain program which tells me which operating software is trying to access the internet. So I'm just going to click allow any connection for now. So it's already checking for updates, and I'm going to click OK. So this is the welcome to Parallels Desktop installer, so I'm going to click continue. You can read through the readme, find out about what's supported. So as you can see, it's OS Lion compatible, sorry about my cough, with Launchpad and everything. So I'm just going to click continue on that. If you want to read the license, go ahead, read the license, but you're going to have to agree to that anyway. So click continue and agree. It tells you how much space it's gonna take. Now I've got two hard drives. I've got the SSD and I've got a 2TB internal hard drive. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to actually install it on my SSD. You can always change your location and install it, and it tells you if you can install it on any other drive. But it says parallel. If I wanted to install it on my 2TB one, it does say parallel desktops can't be installed on this disk. You can only install this software on the disk that is running the Mac OS X. So in this case, my Mac OS X is on the 250 SSD. So I'm just going to click continue and then just click install. It's going to ask me for my password, so I'm going to just type in my password. I normally forget my password, and this time I haven't. So it's going to start the installation process. It's going to write the files to your main OS Lion or wherever your operating system is installed. So I'm looking forward to installing the Windows 7 because I've got a lot of games on Steam and I really want to start playing some games. Got things like Quake, the original Quake series and everything. Just click OK on that. So there you go, my installation has been successful, and I'm just going to click close on there. So to find the application itself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a toolbar which I use, which is called Alfred. I'll talk about that later on. and I'm just going to type in Parallels, and it's already installed. And I'm just going to click enter on that. Again, you don't need to worry about this screen because you're not going to get it. I'm using a little program called Little Snitch, and again I'll explain about that program in a different video. And I'm just going to click allow on that. I've put my name in there. I'm going to put my there's an organization number, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my CD key in there with the activation key that I was sent. So I'm going to put that in and now, and then just click activate. And then it tells me after I've done that the current copy of Parallel Desktop was successfully activated. It brings up a pop-up in a different language. I think it's in German. I don't know why it's showing me in German. I'm just going to click close on that and then click OK on that. Now it's asking me my installation process. Migrate Windows from a PC, which I'm not going to do. And then it says install Windows from a DVD or an image file. Now obviously I'm going to install from the DVD. So I'm just going to get my CD. Now if you've got the Windows 7 Ultimate Edition, it comes with 2 DVDs, a 32-bit version and a 64-bit version. Because my Mac can handle it, I'm going to actually install the 64-bit version. It also gives me the choice of installing other operating systems like Ubuntu or Fedora onto my partition. So I'm going to install Windows 7, so I'm going to make sure click on install Windows from DVD, and then I'm just going to click continue. So I've already inserted into my optical drive. So if you've got more than one drive, you can just select which one it is, and then I'm just going to click continue. Now it's asking me to enter my CD key, but I'm not going to put my CD key on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the tick of that, and I'm going to remove the tick of the Express installation as well, because I want to do a custom configuration. And I'm just going to click continue. Now it gives you two options. You can have the feel of it like a Mac or like a PC, which means it keeps all the Windows desktops in the Windows environment rather than in the Mac. You can always change this on later on, I hope. So I'm going to do it like a PC and then click continue. Now I'm going to name this is Windows 7, I'm going to say 64-bit. It's asking me exactly where I want to install this. I can choose different folders on my Parallels, or I can install it on my, I think I can install it on my 2 terabyte one. I'm just going to click a new folder on there and create Parallel folder in my internal 2 terabyte hard drive, and see if it will let me share with other users of this Mac. So that basically means if somebody else was going to use the Mac, I want them to use, if they want to use Parallels, I want them to allow that. So I'm just going to click allow that, and it will go into the user shared Parallels installation folder. Or if you're just going to be the only one who's using it, you can install it into whichever location. So I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm just going to click on the shared. Actually, I'm not going to click shared. I'm just going to click on where I want to install, because I'm mostly the only one who's going to be using this. So then I'm just going to click continue. I'm going to click customize settings before installation, and then click continue. So I'm just waiting for it to do something. Obviously this is the first time I'm installing Parallels. I've installed Parallels before on my old OS X 10 on my laptop, and it worked perfectly. Quite enjoyed that. This is obviously version 7. Now it's going to ask me on this version on the CPU usage. Now mine's I think it's a quad core 3.4 if I remember. So I'm going to do CPU usage as leave it as the 1, and how much memory I want to use. Now I've got 8 gigabytes of memory on mine, so I'm going to put this to at least 2.5 gig, so it's at least comfortable with what I'm using. On my options, it tells me about my security. I can change the settings for this as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change these settings later on to suit my needs and stuff. For now, the main thing is I want about between 2 and 2.5 gigabytes of memory that I want it to use. Actually, just for the sake of it, I'm just going to leave it to 2 gigabytes. And then I'm just going to click options, and I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to close that. So it tells me how much disk space I'm going to be using. It says 64 gigabytes of disk space. I don't really want it to use 64 gigabytes. So I'm going to see if I can optimize that. If I go to hard disk, and click edit, so it's going to read the disk infos that I've got, and I want it to use around about 32 gigabytes, and I'm going to click apply on that. And then I'm going to click close. And I'm just going to close that and then click continue. It says that my trial activation key will expire in 20 days, and if I've purchased one, I can enter the activation key. But I've not purchased it yet because I'm just going to try out. So I'm going to click later on that. So there you go. My Windows 7 64-bit is installing on Parallels. It's reading through the CD and it's going to go through the installation process. Now, if you saw my earlier on that I selected that I don't want to add a CD key. So what that means is, because I've not entered the CD key, Windows 7 is going to be set up in an evaluation mode, which I think gives me about 30 days to activate it. I'm obviously going to put my CD key later on because I've got the full version and I want to use it fully. So as you can see, the Windows is loading, and I'm just going to let it load and hopefully take you through the next stages as well. Okay, so it seems to have installed the files that I need to set up, and I get the option, it says starting Windows, and there you see the Windows logo for the first time. It's been such a long time since I've seen Windows. Actually, the last time I used a Windows machine was 3-4 years ago, so it's been a long time. Now in the settings, what I'm going to do is one of the good features about Lion is that you can do full screen mode. So I'm going to turn this into a full screen so you can see as well. I'm going to change my settings to English, and it's the United Kingdom settings. Actually doesn't look too good in full screen, so I'm just going to do it as a normal screen, and then I'm going to click next. And then he's asking me if I want to install now, so I'm obviously going to click install now. And then you can see that the setup is starting. This is just the license agreement, so just click accept on that and click next. And I'm going to click on a custom install, so I'm going to click custom. Obviously that's the hard drive virtual that I set, which was 32 gigabytes, and that's how much I want. When I click on drive options, see what it gives me. I can extend it, format it, create a new partition within that. So I'm just going to leave it as it is and click next. So this is obviously going to take some time. So what I'm going to do is, once this stage is done, I will see you in the next screen. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so after a few restarts and everything, I'm going to be get into this box. So I'm going to type in a username for myself. So I'm just going to use it as akeelsworld PC, and I'm going to click next. It says type password. I'm just going to put password in. Next. I'm not going to put the CD key in there at the moment. I'm just going to click next. I'm going to use the recommended settings. Time is, this is actually the time. I'm going to click next. And it says select your computer's current location. I'm just going to select that as a home network, and hopefully it will detect my wireless connection. And from the looks of it, I'm in Windows 7. So what I'm going to do is just going to actually I'm not going to expand that, it doesn't look too good. I'm going to go into the settings. I'm going to screen resolution. It's on 800 by 600 for now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to that and click apply. And I'm going to just click keep the changes. So basically there you go, this is Windows 7. If I wanted Internet Explorer, I can use that. So on my base here, I've got the parallels. So I've got my Windows, just click next. I'm just going to click cancel on that. And there you go, it's basically I've installed Windows, and I'm going to install a few more programs onto this later on. It's straight away detected some updates, so I'm going to do that later on. I'll personalize it and everything. So there you go, that's how you basically install Windows. Any Windows onto a Mac using Parallels. I'm going to go through some of the features of this as well later on, see what I can do. One of the features on here I think is also got a full screen mode, so if I click enter full screen mode it will go straight into there. So it's also got, I think it's got a coherence mode which makes it look like, if I click, obviously I'm going to have a read of that and see how to set it up. So if you've got any questions in regards to the setup, or if you think I can set this up in a different way or a better way, so just leave a comment and make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to do some gameplays on this on Windows. I'm going to install Steam and set that up as well. So no matter who you are, wherever you are, I look forward to seeing you in my next videos, and peace out.